Hello, Shiny Crafty People. Tim Totten here, and you'll notice I'm coming to you from my car. I am on the road with a friend of mine. Wave your hand, Byron, a little bit. There you go. He's over there. And we are heading to a sign conference in Georgia, in Atlanta, and we are actually taking the first long road trip in my Tesla. So I want to share with all of you what it's like to do a road trip in a Tesla. So stay tuned, because I will give you an idea what that looks like along the way. All right, so we have left Gainesville. We're still in Florida, but we are heading along the road here to get to Tifton, Georgia. According to this, we should arrive with about 12% of battery left in my car and need to charge about 20 minutes to get the car where it needs to be to make it to the next supercharger, which is in Macon. And then it looks like we will arrive in Tifton at about 5:30. Let me see time frame wise as we go up here. And let's see, it says that we're going to arrive in Georgia at or Atlanta at about 8:50 tonight. That's pretty good with a couple stops. So we'll check in when we get to Tifton to see how long it takes to charge there. All right, well, I'm letting my car drive itself a little bit. I'm going to have my hand on the wheel still, but we are getting close to our destination. We are 7.2 miles away, and we've got 10% battery left, which is not bad. That's 20 plus miles, so I'll make it. And it says we're going to charge for at least 25 minutes. But we'll end up probably having dinner and charge just longer and let the car really fill almost completely up, so that we don't have to stop. We can stop in Macon before we get to Atlanta. Maybe we can make it all the way. So we'll see when we get there what we end up with. Do we end up actually with 6% power left when we hit Tifton? Here in Tifton, and actually behind the Olive Garden, is our stop. So we're going to be turning in here, backing up. Actually, I don't think I have to back up. I think I can pull in directly at this one. Hold on. So we'll turn in like this. Ooh. All right. Let's get started. All right, so I'm here in the car. I'm at 6%, and this says that let's see, my charge limit is I'll be able to continue in about 15 minutes or so. So I'm gonna go find some dinner, and then we'll come back. So the last time you filled up your car with gas, did you go in the gas station and get one of these or something like that? No, I don't think so. All right, so we're back after dinner, and we should be at 98% to charge. So I'll go here and unplug. Put my drink down. That's how easy that was, and just plug it back in here. All right, back on the road. Let me grab my drink. Back on the road. So we're back in the car, and I have about 98% charge in the car. I'm just going to calculate where we go next, but let's see how much that cost us. We went from like 6% to 98%, so almost a full tank, and it cost $12.27. All right, we'll check in when we get to our next stop. Pulled into the Macon, Georgia, Tom Hill Senior Boulevard charging station. It says only charge for 10 minutes, but I'm going to tell you, I want to get to Atlanta and not have to find a charger there, so we're going to charge longer. So we'll go back up here. Look at this. Look how many chargers are out here. You can charge. All my friends could have come, Byron. Yeah. This is the best part about a Tesla. You just literally push that button. It opens the door for you and plug it in. And now inside my car, it should say, it says charging. Well, let's go in. It does say charging. Look at that. So we'll let that do its thing, and we will get ready to go in a little while. And we're just about here. Ooh, 30 inches away. Woo! So we've arrived in Atlanta. We still have about 42% battery in the car. That was after 3 stops. We're about 91 miles of charging left. And of course, when I head back tomorrow evening, I'm going to navigate home, and it's going to show me my list of superchargers where I need to go on the way. And it looks like I'll need to make a stop just outside of Atlanta to charge, one in Tifton, one in Lake City, and then I'll get home. So only 3 stops on the way back home, which is pretty good. So I'm going to turn in for the night. Tomorrow we have the International Sign Association Expo, which is all about printing and that kind of stuff, cool stuff for my business. But I'm going to enjoy my Airbnb. And maybe if you're lucky in the morning, I will get up and show you a little bit about where we stayed downtown Atlanta. All right. Good night. So I was totally going to show you a tour tomorrow morning, but the reality is I'm going to sleep in the bed in here, and I don't think it'll look good tomorrow. So I'll show it to you tonight before I go, and then I'll give you a tour of the rest of the place tomorrow. So this is the bedroom and the Airbnb. Look how pretty this is. They've done a lovely job making it nice. And it actually has a television showing YouTube TV complimentary. That's my Frank Lloyd Wright cup from my company. I brought this with the famous Winslow house. And then the bathroom, I haven't even looked in the bathroom, so we're gonna see together how it looks. Ooh, a nice big bathroom with a huge closet, like it's a big walk-in closet. That could be a 3rd bedroom on some Airbnb listings. And then a really nice shower, and of course the commode's down there. I'm not gonna show that to you. But a big full-length mirror, and the big huge mirror that way. So then you got a nice color story going on. This is actually a really nice Airbnb. I'll show you the rest in the morning because you're definitely gonna wanna see what it looks like out over the balcony because it's a really nice view. Right now I am gonna say goodnight. See you in the morning. So it's the next morning in our Airbnb, and I just want to show you a little bit about what this place has to offer. It's a great living room here that overlooks the pool area. Now, I really thought when we got in late last night that the pool would be really inviting, but I'm going to open the door and show you that maybe they haven't had service in a while on the pool because it's kind of green right now. But you can imagine if it wasn't green, how nice this would be out here. And there's a great workout area over in this building. And actually my car spot is really just right up there. So I can see my car from here. It's really nice. Let's go see the rest of it. Let's see. There's a really cute kitchen area and a little dining area. And then an extra bedroom and a bathroom so that Byron and I both had our own space. So we're in Atlanta for a sign expo, and one of the companies that I own is a laser engraving and printing business. It's very small, we're not really big yet, but we're going to this expo to find some cool new stuff that they're doing in that industry. So come along with us and maybe I'll show you around the floor a little bit while we're there. We've made it inside the ISA. We had to go scan our badges, right here. Scan our badges, and now Byron, it's pretty packed in here, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Let's see what the show floor looks like, though. We'll go there now. So I'm here at the ISA, the International Sign Association Expo. and we have seen the craziest stuff. Oh my goodness, there's so much cool stuff here. I'm gonna run some video of that in just a minute for you, and then we'll get back in the Tesla and head back home to Florida. All right, I'm gonna go look at all these printers worth tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we're leaving the Sign Expo at the Georgia World Congress Center. It says I have 88 miles or 40%. So I'm going to put in my navigation that I want to navigate to my house, to home. Click the button. And it's going to spend a little time finding me a route. And it'll tell me how many superchargers I need to stop at. So it's going to send us to McDonough, Georgia. And then to Macon, although frankly, we can spend more than 10 minutes there and maybe even skip Macon. But it looks like we're gonna have to do about 4 stops on the way home for a total of about an hour or so, or hour and a half of charging. So we're gonna follow that and head home. So we're stopped at the charger in McDonough, Georgia, and we're only here for a short time, like less than 10 minutes, because it's just sort of topping us up so we have enough to continue to the next stop. And when we get to Macon, we are going to actually stop and have dinner or lunch. We haven't decided where we're stopping, but it's somewhere around there. But here's the deal, like this vehicle charges, and most electric vehicles, the fastest between like 10% and 80%. So it's, when you get higher numbers, it's harder to push the electricity into batteries. It's a whole scientific thing. But basically we're cranking up at 466 miles per hour right now. And that'll just keep going down as we add more electricity into the vehicle. So it's kind of interesting that, you know, it's the sweet spot in the middle where maybe you have to stop 1 or 2 more times, but the truth is you actually save time because it charges faster during that time. Anyway, I'm gonna be here for 3 or 4 more minutes, and then I'm gonna stop charging and I will head to Macon, Georgia. Cheers. So we're here in Macon. In fact, we stopped at Cookout. And those of you who are in the southern part of the United States are probably like, we know what Cookout is. Well, I haven't eaten at a Cookout before. So here we are, gonna enjoy it. I've got a big hamburger and some onion rings. What did you get? Barbecue?
Barbecue sandwich.
And Heath.
Coleslaw.
No, not Heath coleslaw. This is Heath. What do they call it? Milkshake. I can't find the word. Anyway, we're getting back on the road in about 20 minutes. Cheese curds are good.
Oh, good.
All right, so we're here in Lake City at the charger. Let me see, we're at the supercharger in Lake City, Florida on our way home. And it is shooting up to 642 miles per hour, charging into the battery right now. So if I actually go to my charging thing here, you can see the battery is starting to fill up. It's way down there, obviously, but we're at 24%. It's just going up. When I pulled in, I was at about 20%, I think. I just started charging a minute ago, and it'll just crank up there. Right, still at the 640 miles per hour, actually down to 638. But that'll still get us pretty much most of the way home. And I'm gonna charge for about 15 minutes remaining to continue your trip. So So we're getting close to finishing this trip back to Florida from Atlanta, and then after we get home, after I get home and drop Byron off at his car at the office, then I'll do sort of a recap in the morning. So we're pulling into our office to drop off Byron, and it is, let's see where we are time-wise. We're at 11:57. We did this all in not even 2 days. We left yesterday at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We've got 40% in the battery, and we're in pretty good shape. I feel like we did pretty well. 8 stops on the way and back, altogether 8 stops. So I'll do a recap of what it costs me when I wake up in the morning and can actually feel my toes. So I'm finally back from the road trip, and actually it's a couple days later, but I had to pull all the details together, and frankly I had to recover from a really fast whirlwind 2 days heading to from my home in Eustis, Florida, all the way up to Atlanta, which is about 900 miles round trip if you kind of count where we sidetracked and had to do a couple of things. So I want to give you a quick recap about that. Interestingly, there were some major benefits to taking an electric car rather than a gas car, especially with the current price of gasoline right here in the summer of 2022. At the time of the actual trip, which was in May, gas was hovering right at about $4.50 a gallon for regular gasoline, and so if we consider that it cost me about $56 and 34 cents to charge my electric car all the way to Atlanta and back. If I had done that in an equivalent gas car that got about 30 miles per gallon at $4.50, we're looking at about $135. So in fact, I saved, what is that, roughly 80 bucks in fuel charges. The car actually was a lot easier for me to drive because there are some advanced features in my vehicle. Now, I bought my Tesla in 2020. Yeah, I think it was August of 2020 I placed the order, and I received it in September of 2020. So when I bought my car, it was all in $41,000. That included the $39,900 fee, the normal cost at the time, as well as the $1,500 upgrade for my the paint that I wanted, and a few other small things that I added on. But so for less than $42,000, I bought a brand new car that runs on electricity. Now, normally when I drive around, I drive less than 30 miles a day, and it costs me about $35 a month in electric charging at my house. But I've had the car for that period of time, so I bought a car that was about a $40,000 car. Today, that same car goes for almost $50,000, so you'll see the price increases and what they've done. A couple of features on a car of that price is that it has what's called advanced autopilot, and Tesla's advanced autopilot allows my car to stay in the lane. In fact, you should have seen that in the video already. I talked about that. To stay in the lane really well and drive around corners and everything else, and I just have to have my hand somewhere on the steering wheel so that it knows I'm still alive and not gone. Now, it's not full self-driving. That's a pipe dream so far. That hasn't happened. Full self-driving would actually drive you point A to point B and get you there and off the interstate and make turns. This is not going to do that, but it would for long interstate driving. It makes it so much easier. I arrived with far less fatigue. I also arrived, though, about an hour and a half longer than it would have taken in a gas-powered car. Now, there could have been several long breaks. Like, we didn't take any longer for dinner with the electric car than we would have in a gas car. But the other 3 stops on the way up and the other 3 stops on the way back were longer than I might have stopped at a gas station for just a splash and go. And because I didn't buy the most expensive Tesla, the one that I bought only has about 240 miles of range. Now, the thing with range is that while it has 240 miles of range, no one ever fills it completely to 100% and then drives it all the way to 0. So my effective range is really about 200 miles. And while that sounds like a lot, I was really used to getting in my Prius that I had before, or my Ford C-Max hybrid, and going for maybe 300 miles before I even stopped at all. Maybe I drove for, 3.5 to almost 4 hours, which, depending upon your bladder, you can sometimes do. In this car, we were stopping literally every hour and a half or so, hour and 40 minutes to charge, which felt a little too soon. I would have liked to have gone a little bit more in between, but hour and a half, 2 hours, somewhere in there was fine. I was okay with that. But I'm used to getting to Atlanta in like 6.5 hours, and this took 8. The other thing was that you may have noticed in the video that you've just watched so far that there were rather strange locations. We stopped next to a Batteries Plus, which was interesting, in a shopping center, and we could go next door to Panera and walk down to some other restaurants and stuff. Another stop where we had was literally just tucked behind an Olive Garden, and you could walk a block to a Starbucks if you want. We actually walked about a block and a half and got to Longhorn Steakhouse and had an amazing meal, which you saw earlier in the video. And then there were a couple others that were just sort of off the side of the road. So the locations aren't always perfect, and it makes it a little more difficult to like plan really cool stops and places you can go. Of course, I'd never been into an REI, which is like a higher end camping and survival type store, and I'd never gone to one of those. And when we stopped in Gainesville, Florida, it was right in front of an REI, so that was worthwhile. And we got to go into the Whole Foods market, which was there as well. So you can use it to explore if you want, but there are certainly some locations where you're just going to sit in the car and watch YouTube videos on the big screen, or play video games, which you can do on the big screen, or read a book, or take a nap, or whatever else you want to do. My only real problem with taking long road trips is I don't know that I want to go more than a 400 or 500 mile trip because of how much longer it takes to get there. But also, it just takes longer to get home. And one of the values of being able to get in a car and head home and say, we're going to stop at this gas station for exactly 4 minutes for me to pump gas, be ready, is that you can do that in a gas car. In an electric car, if you need 20 minutes to charge, you need 20 minutes to charge. You just don't have a choice. And some of the charging stations are far enough off the interstate that it takes you almost as long to get to them and back to the interstate as it does to charge. So some of those are problems that have to get corrected. And I think they will, as there becomes that push to put charging stations at every single large gas station along the interstate. And I mean, electric cars are here to stay. I think we all know that. And certainly with the cost savings, saving $80 on a trip is a pretty big, substantial savings. So all in all, I love my Tesla. I have enjoyed it so much since September of 2020. I don't think about gas prices right now. I have friends that are really hurting with gas prices, and I really feel for them because I haven't seen an increase in my electric bill at home. And there are plenty of electric car charging stations that are not only as cheap as what I paid here, but also sometimes free. There are people trying to get people in, and they offer free charging. So I think electric cars are definitely here to stay. I will probably have an electric car for the rest of my life. I really love this Tesla and other electric cars, and I would encourage you to look into them. They're probably best for people who want to drive 30 or 50 miles a day, or maybe even 100, but don't take a lot of long trips. So the best for me for a long trip, my mom and my dad have a Prius Prime, which is a plug-in electric hybrid, and it gets about 40 miles on just electric alone, which handles almost all of her daily driving. She can charge at work, she can charge at home. And then when they go longer trips, it turns over into a standard hybrid and getting about 60 or 80 miles to the gallon. And then they can just go on gas and hop from gas station to gas station. So I think if I ever needed a long car to drive longer, I'd be looking for a gas electric hybrid. But as of for now, the way my life works, electric car works great for me. I hope you enjoyed this sort of a peek into how a Tesla car works and what it takes to take a long road trip in an electric car. And I hope you'll stay tuned for other videos about all different kinds of topics here on the channel. Now, I didn't make any crafts in this video, but I can still say it because you're all of my crafting friends. Until next time, folks, stay crafty. Bye for now. All right, now I got to plan a shorter road trip.